Hey, welcome to Ian and Jerrod's Humpday Extravaganza. Oh, I'm still playing here. You can't hear it, but I'm getting.
Oh, I could hear it.
Oh, you can hear it. All right, there we go. So we're trying out some new countdowns as longtime listeners or viewers. I guess longtime viewers will know that wasn't our normal countdown. We got tagged by YouTube and Facebook last week of using copyrighted music. So our new segment will be trying out new countdowns. That one had no music, but I decided to use StreamYard, which is how we broadcast. They have some royalty-free music that I can put on at any time. So I decided to do that after 5 seconds of silence. And that's the music you heard. I'd like to introduce my co-host, Jerrod.
Hi, everybody. I think we can safely say we're going to go different music.
Definitely. That was acoustic cinematic.
I don't think that's the vibe of our show.
Either. But, Jerrod, if there's one thing to say about us, wouldn't you say we're dance pop?
That is true. But that sounds like the background music of like a slow panning video. Like a elderly nudist colony in Palm Springs.
That's right. That's
slowly going past the hot tub in that one. Ooh.
This is dance pop.
I like this one.
All right, keep that in. I gotta play this one. It's called "Feeding the Ducks." Okay.
I like it. I don't think it's our vibe.
No, but
I like
I'm wondering why it's called "Feeding the Ducks." All right, we won't play them all tonight, but maybe every once in a while I'll throw one in.
I just want to point out that I did the white guy dancing, biting my bottom lip as I.
Yeah, the white guy overbite.
Yep. Couldn't see me snapping my fingers over on the side.
My tootsies were tapping. So how are you, bud?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. We sort of got this show scheduled on time. It wasn't a last minute endeavor. We found out that while YouTube all around is just better than Facebook. I'm going to say that. Screw you, Zuckerberg. But you can schedule a year out for live video, but Facebook, no more than a week. So last time we were talking about we're going to be better about scheduling these things, and we're not leaving right after the show. I'll schedule a new one so everybody can plan for it, all that stuff. And then I do it, and Facebook's like, "You're too early. You have to come back next week and do it." And that's like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing next Wednesday. Like, on my off week, I'm not doing the show, right? I'm living my life so I can talk about it on the show.
We're in lady slaying mode those weeks.
Sure, yes. For as best as anybody can tell, that's exactly it. Let's get a little. There we go. There's the handsome faces that everybody's looking for. Ah! So Anyways, we had one viewer and we lost them, so that always feels good.
Oh, well, we've got one YouTube viewer.
I wonder who that could be.
It is me.
Oh, look in the bottom right-hand corner of my screen. JJ Abrams coming in.
Nice.
Lens flare. Yeah. JJ Abrams is directing our show today. Thanks, JJ.
Perfect. We appreciate you, JJ.
Adding the lens flare.
Yeah. So for this week's show, going to kind of go back to a show we did last season, let's call it, where, I think it was right after everybody, the lockdown ended. We talked about the streaming things that we had watched, the movies and streaming shows and whatever.
Right.
And we kind of, every week we talk about them a little. So thought this week we talk a little about ones that, maybe since last season or so far in 2022. So some of the stuff we've been watching.
Yeah. I think you've probably got a bit more. I've been kind of rut. lately all I've been watching is anything that comes out. So, okay, this is what I've been watching. I'm just going to list them all, and then we could kind of put your list in and take it piece by piece. But this is what I've been watching. I'm a big fan of all the new Star Trek properties on Paramount Plus, so I am all in with that. Star Wars and Marvel on Disney Plus. So if anything comes out, Star Wars or Marvel, I'm all in.
Yes.
And The Gilded Age on HBO. Love it. I mean, you talk about a period piece that has to do with rich people and their servants. I'm all in, like all in. And then I'm starting from the beginning of Law and Order SVU. So back from 99.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's kind of I don't know what I want to watch. I'm going to put on the next episode of SVU all the way back. And oh boy, is it a different time, and talk about just inappropriate. You would think a show that deals with that kind of content would be a little less bro-y, but boy, is it a bro-y show. Wow. I didn't realize it at first. It's I've watched newer ones, like I'm up to date on the new ones for the last few years. It's like night and day. Like it is. Wow. It's striking.
What's funny you mentioned it. I remember it was a long time ago. It was probably like early 2000s, but it really stuck in my head where I caught part of an old episode of Chips. I loved it when I was a kid. And I remember back then thinking like, wow, that is wildly inappropriate. Like sexual harassment every moment of that show.
I'll be right back. I'm going out of camera frame. Hold on.
All right. No, I'm just
professional in our production here. Always. All right, everybody. I feel I can talk about this. I was in the middle of taking a home COVID test, and it is negative. I wasn't going to tell you if it was positive, but it is negative.
I would have gotten it out of you.
I have a little tickle in my throat, and I don't want to be spreading it. So it's important to be tested if you feel under the weather in any way. However, I don't know. I'm dreading getting it. I haven't had it yet, and now it's kind of like I've gone this far in the game, and I feel like I'm winning it. There's no winning this game, but I feel like I'm winning it by not having it. So I was feeling like, oh, should I do this in the middle of the show? Will it bring me down? But it's negative. So that's just a philosophical question that I'll have to answer in my head and not experience in real life yet. So
it's like we brought in a little real life drama to the episode.
We did. It's okay. It's still just you watching the stream at this point. So
very special episode of ER over here.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, so you were saying, what were you saying?
Just about that old episode. Watching
Chips.
Yeah, just the sexual harassment. It was, and it's like even then it was like, I say even then, early 2000s, but watching it then, it was so wildly like over the top. Like it would be if we were to make a spoof of the frat boy world in the business place.
Yep.
Just like the really inappropriate jokes at the women.
Like what is satire now? Like we would say, oh, this is too up over the top. No one would buy it. Was actually the reality of 1980s Chips TV.
Right.
Same thing with the Love Boat.
I have not watched.
Did we talk about this last time? I've talked about the Love Boat a couple of times.
But we haven't.
Okay.
Love Boat, I had a thing for a while where I would out of the blue start singing the Love Boat.
Oh, yeah. Song. I mean, it is
great theme song. Just like I feel like you could go into any lounge and with lounge singers or whatever and just break up the Love Boat.
Actually, if I were a professional ball player, that would be my walk-on music. Here it comes the Love Boat. Well, so I couldn't talk about this the last time, but my mom just turned 75, and the family has decided to take her on her first cruise over Thanksgiving. Nice. So, yeah, we're all going on a cruise. No, the only person that in my family my sister's family has been on cruises before. My dad, myself, have not, and my mom have not. So, and I was kind of like, lackadaisical about it. Like I was like, my sister's like, I really want to do this. And it's something that my mom's really wanted to do. And I'm all about going to a tropical island. We're going to the Bahamas. I'm all about that. Like, but I thought I would just prefer to fly and spend a week there and then fly home, but now that I'm into the cruise life, oh my God, I am so excited. But that caused me to pause on an episode of Love Boat to say, all right, this is going to be my reality, Oh my God, people are just ending up in everybody's stateroom, and the applied sexual relations is unbelievable. Unbelievable for 1979. I saw one with Gene Rayburn. You know who Gene Rayburn is?
Oh my God, the name sounds familiar, and I'm sure if I
host of the Match Game.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna get sued by Facebook. Yeah, that's definitely copyrighted. It's
like listening to Spotify on YouTube right now.
But he's romancing Fanny Flagg, also a frequent guest on the Match Game. And Gene Rayburn is just unfortunately just seems like a lech in real life. Like his whole mannerisms, I don't think it's intentional, but he just, he screams stranger danger. So for him to be this Lothario on the Love Boat and then end up in the room, I don't know, a dog escapes and there's this whole convoluted thing, but at the end they end up, on the bed kissing, and then we don't know what happens next.
You said they ended up on the bed kissing.
Yep.
Right after you mentioned the dog being loose, so I just would like to specify.
Yeah. It was Fanny Flagg and Gene Rayburn, not Gene Rayburn and the dog. Yes. Good call, Jerrod. Good call. Yeah. Although I don't know, the scene just ends. All three of them are in the room. I'm just saying.
You weren't kidding. We're over the top.
Over the top. So I'm like a little bit afraid of my cruise now. If this is representative, it's gonna be dogs getting loose. And
I've never been on a cruise either, and I've always wanted to go on a cruise. So
Jerrod,
I'm jealous.
Jerrod, I'm gonna tell you this: two single dudes. They have these things are next to nothing. We're gonna go. Let's just, I think we throw it out to all our improviser friends and say, hey, this is the week. If you want it, grab a cabin, roommate up, and let's go. Cause this is a 7-night cruise and I'm paying, and I upgraded to a balcony outside cause I'm really worried about seasickness. So I went with what they recommend on the ship. It's a huge ship and it's less than $1,000.
Wow. That's like all inclusive there.
That's all inclusive. All my meals are, now they try to get you. There's a lot of upselling, but if you're immune to upselling like I am, I think the only thing extra is we're going to do a couple of upgraded days at, and I want to see some of the sites in Nassau and then Royal Caribbean has their own island in the Bahamas. And I wanted, something comfortable to sit on when we're there. But
so I had this thought. They hire entertainers for cruises.
I'm all over it.
Right? Like, could an improv team get
actually, you want to know something? This may happen. Because of what I do for a living. I know a lot of performers that perform on colleges. And what they do during the summer, a lot of them do summer camps, but a lot do cruises. So I could probably even find out how, a contact or two. And I think we'd have to actually get a reel that is funny. That might be,
Shit.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, I know how I can get a funny reel. Does it have to be us?
No, I think it'll be fine. I mean, Jerrod, you're at sea. Once if we just keep a low profile until we're at sea and then just report in, say, oh, where are your performers?
Here we are.
Here we are. There's nothing. I mean, we're on the ship. What are they going to do?
It's almost got like a comedic heist movie vibe.
I love it. We're going to turn this into a screenplay. We're going to live it in real life, and then we're going to turn it into a screenplay, and then we will retire. And you know what we're going to do when we retire? Cruise.
Yes.
Yes. So.
It's funny because this is the move we would have made like in our early 20s, and instead we're waiting until
wait until there's enough gray in the beard and all that stuff. So yeah,
I love it.
I love it too. I think it's a plan because I'm ready. I'm ready for a career change. You know, I am ready to exercise my white male privilege and be medium talented, but get all the fame from it. You know, like that's it.
I wonder, like, if it's a 6-month gig, how much you make on it. Is it something where I could just do that, like a 6-month gig every year? Maybe go back and work some. I don't know, just something to get me out of bed in the morning, but make enough money to pay the mortgage or rent year round.
I'm with you. And now I'm on, oh my God, the cruising community is a trip. Like they have Reddit pages, they have Facebook pages. So I obsessed and I joined it all.
I was gonna say, slow down. You signed up for your first cruise.
Oh yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in.
Let me tell you about life in the cruising community.
Oh yeah. They are people. They are people. But they rate the performers. Like they're like, who's gonna? Because we don't know who's going to be performing on our cruise. So the cruising that's going on now, the boat. We're all on the same boat. Like we're going to go on Anthem of the Seas. That's the name of the boat, and it goes out every week, and it has different performers, and they all are like, I hope it's Billy and the Badasses. I don't know. I just made up people. Anybody that wants.
I hope it's Billy and the Badasses too.
Yeah, Billy and the Badasses. Are they going to be on it? And it's really funny. I was like, oh, this could easily be. Oh my God, Ian and Jerrod, and all those single folks. You know what I'm saying, Jerrod? We could be hot commodities.
That's right. That's right. Yep. What we lack in poolside studly bodies, we make up for in unashamed comedic performances.
That's it. And also it's a closed off community. We're just going to be great. There's not a lot of options, there's not, there's only a certain amount of performers and who knows, a lot of them bring their families,
what I like about our plans right here. Our plans are like, instead of raising our game to hurdle a higher bar, let's find a place where the bar is a little lower.
Yeah, I'm all about lowering a bar. Like that is, and ladies, we're single. If you need us, we'll be at the buffet. Like that'll be our thing.
That'll be accurate too.
It would be absolutely accurate.
Record that now. We could just.
Yeah, just hey, if it's the bars, the buffet's open 24 hours, we'll be on the stage or taking a nap. Or at that buffet. Yeah.
We have planned this out. This is great.
This is going to be good. I mean, yeah. Jerrod, free hot dogs. You walk up and you just get a hot dog.
What could be better?
What could be better? And Amy Kahn, first of all, we need to address some comments.
Hold on. She's not.
Yeah, she's in class. Well, she's probably in her 500th improv class of the year. And it's only April. I would appreciate it if you would please schedule these classes around our show.
Right.
When you are half of our viewing audience, that really impacts the show.
Right. We'll have to admonish her later.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I do appreciate that she's in class till 8. I don't know where she's going to pop. I guess we did go an hour and a half last time, but I'm like, technically we shoot for an hour. So, it's hit or miss if we're going to be here after your class.
But we give a lot of free material out after that hour.
Yeah, but not once we're cruise performers. We're going to have to save it.
That's right.
You're going to have to come on the cruise.
Buffet, so you need to enjoy what you can now.
Yeah, because our A material is getting saved once we have some A material. So, and then is Pat your aunt or your mom? Or
that's my mom.
Hey, she likes our idea of being cruise famous.
Oh yeah, she would probably want to figure out a way to tag along on.
Yeah, she's going to be our business manager. I feel it now. Yeah, sorry. Talk to Pat. No. You're upset we're eating too much at the buffet. Talk to our manager. We'll be over here with the lobster tail.
That's right. Good times.
I tell you though, I would to not even to perform. I like performing a lot. Don't get me wrong, but I would move to a a tropical or a luxury. If I could do that, I mean, I get paid next. Like I'd like to put a little something away for my retirement, but if you're paying for my meals and my housing, I work cheap.
I'm gonna say, like, look at you taking that big leap of I work in a tropical environment where all of my favorite food, where it's just all you can eat buffet for my. I do that.
I'd do that.
I do that too.
Yeah. I think they found. I mean, we are the guys that they are looking for. They just don't know it.
We would we'd be very non-threatening to the husbands.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, no, you know where we would be threatening? We'd be super nice. Like we'd be the one like, why can't you be more like Ian and Jerrod? They seem like really nice guys. That's been me through high school. Every woman that I've ever had a crush on used me as a good example for their boyfriend. Not that they wanted to date me, but you know, that thing.
Yeah, I certainly can't say the same thing.
I have a good boy rap and I can't shake it.
I am sometimes held up as an example. I'm rarely held up as a good example.
You're the bad. Be careful, unlike like Jerrod.
Gotcha. I'm the cautionary tale.
Actually, I'm shocked we haven't seen more of your relatives on here today after our debut, and they were in the audience at Pig.
That's true, and I know at least like one. You know what? One of my aunts did. She watched. She's like going through and watching the old ones.
Oh, okay.
I went over for Easter, and she hit me up about when we talked about Pi Day.
Yeah,
and how much I hated Pi Day.
Yeah.
So this aunt is the head of mathematics at Quinnebog Valley Community and Technical
Oh, she probably didn't like that you didn't like Pi Day.
She didn't.
Yeah, she's like, no, that's our one day. That's mathematicians' one day. You cannot take away. Nobody knows about the Fibonacci sequence, so we get Pi Day.
That's right. That's right. And how this year, and I forgot to do it last year, I think, on July 22nd, I'm going to be making posts like, March 14th, all you jerks are out there talking about Pi Day, talking about you love Pi. Where are you today?
Circumference Day?
People. Well, 22/7 is just the, 3.14 is the decimal.
If you keep going, it's the next digits.
Fraction. Yeah.
Got you. Oh, I get you. Yeah. I mean, you know, one of my favorite, I don't know, I may repeat myself, but I'm over 50 now, so I get to do that and nobody can complain.
They love it.
It's great. After 50, your brain just, I don't know. But one of my favorite TikTokers is a mathematician that breaks down math to make it understandable. But for me, it's like math I haven't thought about in 20 years. So for me, it's like, oh, I can still do algebra. Like, oh, I know what to do next. Because it's not like I'm opening a book of algebra problems to see if I can still do it. So I do enjoy that TikTok.
Amy is kicking herself for missing this because her degree is in math.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, she's a little mathematician.
Yeah. Well, got to take those improv classes, right?
Yep. So, we want to talk about what we've been watching because I've got a list.
Let's do it.
So, I'm going to start off with the whole Netflix recently raised prices. They've been getting a lot of crap about not having the library that they used to, which is absolutely true. I remember just 3 or 4 years ago watching a bunch of the Marvel movies on Netflix.
Well, they have said they're making a strategic move away from things they don't own to invest the money that they would pay to get the rights to stream these things to their own product. They're making much more money and everything's critically acclaimed to make it in-house and then have it,
And they're just vomiting money all over those.
Yeah.
So they say Stranger Things is paying $30 million an episode now.
Yeah.
Just going to that. But what I have enjoyed that Netflix has been doing, because people have been kind of dropping a little, is they've been bringing a lot of Korean shows in.
They have
getting them dubbed. And there's been, I had no idea Korean cinema was that good. There's been a lot of things that I've really enjoyed on it. And I like to think that like Korean cinema got big with Parasite a few years ago. It was, I see it was just 2020, and then on Netflix, Squid Game. Although I think I watched Parasite on Netflix too. And that was the big movie that came out. It was Korean. We're like, whoa, this is great. Then Squid Game, which I think is still the most watched anything ever on Netflix.
Which is amazing because Americans usually have that subtitle barrier. They won't watch anything with subtitles.
And in Squid Game's case, they also had it dubbed, which
it was dubbed.
Tough watching. But yeah, it was huge. And since then, I've been watching more things. I've gotten to the point now where if it looks like it's a Korean show that was brought over to Netflix, I'm giving it a shot. And I've watched a few of them. One of them, Hellbound. So that was kind of a cool one. And the whole premise in that one is in this world, there's angels. They're not nice angels. They'll come in, they'll point at somebody, and they'll tell them, you're going to die. I'm going to take you to hell. I can't remember what it was said, but they're these big, freaky looking things just tearing stuff up, going to people. And it's like, your time is, and they give when they're going to die. And then on that day, they just come out and like, a lot of movie people are trying to run away or whatever, and they always grab them and take them right down. And for as comic booky or cartoonish as that plot sounds, they really did a good job of making it real, like making real situations in that. And there's a religious cult involved, just the way that the media treated it at first, then it got to be too much, how the police treat it. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, well, it actually sounds a lot like my experience with bullies in high school. So, they pop out, say, you're going to die.
Right.
And that's what so it's not that implausible. I mean, it's supernatural with the coming from heaven and demons and all that stuff.
So I'm hoping they have another season of that.
I'll have to add that to my list. I am not even aware of that show.
Yeah, it came out. So it came out, whatever it was, a few months ago. And I wish it might have been called Animals. I didn't include it on my list, but it was around the same time when I was looking for things to watch. And you know how like I will find shows because they'll show whatever algorithm Netflix.
Yeah.
The movies you like, and this one it was like when they wrote the premise, it was something like animals after watching humans destroy the environment for so long.
Oh yeah, I think I might have saw a preview for this.
That was so bad.
No, it was.
I hate sitting there. I hate criticizing art, but it was like by the second episode, this dude had been kidnapped by a pride of lions. Well, this other guy gets a text from his phone and to go get him, but it was a trap. It's like, okay, you want us to believe that these lions sent the text message to this guy.
They don't have opposable thumbs. How they typing?
Just come on, guys.
Try harder.
I started tweeting about it because since it had just showed up, I thought maybe it was something new, and it was like 2 or 3 years old. So I'm doing all these tweets where I'm very vague because I'm assuming, hey, everybody must be watching this. And I thought I'd be on the leading edge of something for once on Twitter, and I was not.
I like the idea of live tweeting something that is like years behind. Oh my God, I can't believe that Dorothy's World just turned to color. How'd they do that?
Right. Don't tell anybody that you're going to do it though. Just
just be like, what the hell's Ian watching? Wizard of Oz? What?
like E.T. just made the bicycle fly, but not even say it like that.
Yeah.
Oh, he can make bicycles fly. And a glowing finger.
Quotes, I'll be right here.
So after Hellbound, I watched, it was called The Silent Sea. Another Korean one. The premise in this one is the Earth is really running out of water. There's some secret base on the moon that's got whatever the cure is for that, whatever the amazing discovery they made. And the whole thing, they fly up to the moon, to the secret base. It was abandoned. Find out it wasn't abandoned. Everybody in there is dead. And I'm not going to ruin anything else, but, sci-fi, going out to space, going to the moon base.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it what I wanted it to be. It wasn't like super complicated or super deep. It was what I wanted in a short series because it wasn't just like one movie. It was like a 6-episode thing, but it
Yeah.
gave me what I wanted. And hey, little sci-fi, going up to the moon, hanging out, seeing cool things, cool ideas, cool little action sequences. It was
Pretty good.
yeah, it wasn't great. It was, but it wasn't bad at all. It's hard for me to stay engrossed in something. In this one, I was all over.
You were good.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I watched this weekend? So, and again, I think it was from 2017. This is a movie, so I'm going to a movie. It's weird, Jerrod. I don't know if you find this. I don't know. Like, I'll be like, I don't want to devote my time to a movie. Yeah, I'll watch an episode of this, and then 6 hours later, I'm still watching the same show. When if I just watched the movie, it would have been done 2 hours ago. You know, that sort of thing.
Mine's the opposite. Now I'll watch movies, just pause it in the middle, turn off the TV, go away, come back next time, a day later, hit play. It's just the next episode to me.
Yeah. Well, this weekend I've been wanting to see this, and then there's a couple of things. This has happened twice this week. If I encounter reference to a non-current movie 3 or more times, I will go back. If I've not seen it, I will watch that movie. So that happened with 2 movies this past week. The first one was Murder on the Orient Express with Kenneth Branagh, and everybody else that's popular was in it, and it was fantastic. And the sequel, Death on the Nile, is on HBO and on Hulu right now. So, and you don't need to watch the first one, although it does establish a little bit of character, but it's only 2 characters that are in both movies. But it's fantastic. And but then the one that I'm in the middle of, and actually it's paused on my TV. Oh, my TV shut off. But it's The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, the original from 1970s. I kept hearing people reference that movie, and talk about inappropriate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. It's Walter Matthau. First of all, I love Walter Matthau. There's no reason I should like Walter Matthau, and I really like Walter Matthau. And like Jerry Stiller's in it, and a bunch of those 70s character actors. Yeah. And actually a lot of people that are still like, I don't know if you know Hector Elizondo. He is a Latinx character actor that's been around forever, and you would know him if you saw him. And a whole bunch of other people are in it, and Robert Shaw from Jaws. But boy, they do racial humor. They do they hit all the taboos. I'm like, wow, it's like someone got a checklist of what you can know, you shouldn't do, and put it right into the script. But yeah, so that was this week. And then, like I said, I've been watching SVU, and I think that was it for TV. I haven't been watching many shows.
Don't worry, I've got many more that I'll be bringing.
Do it.
Some of them that I bet you'll be like, oh yeah. So the last Korean show I'm going to talk about is called Kingdom. It's on Netflix. They described it as a Korean Game of Thrones. Yeah. I wouldn't call it that. It's a medieval Korean zombie show.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess you could say the White Walkers are zombies. I guess
yeah.
But that's a small part of Game of Thrones, or at least Game of Thrones is so big that
right.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not as good as Game of Thrones. I know the last season ruined it for a lot of people, but Game of Thrones before that was absolutely fantastic. And this is not at that level, but it's still surprisingly good. And I find myself really enjoying seeing the costumes from a country's medieval time that I was not aware of.
Oh, that's a good call.
And that has been pretty neat. Like a lot of hats that make me think of like Peru, like that part of South America. It's pretty neat. But it's a well done show. It's engrossing. It's very good.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Definitely recommend it.
So, all right. So now that was your Korean adventure.
That was the Korean ones. Yeah, those have been really enjoyable. So now just some of the things that I've watched and enjoyed. I just got it recently. It's on Paramount Plus. Jackass Forever. I love the Jackass movies. I think they are so funny, and Jackass Forever also so funny. When it was a show on MTV, I used to love that TV show. just so funny. And what I really like about Jackass Forever is these guys, they're older than me, you know? They're pushing 60.
Yeah, they're in the
really.
They're older than me too, yes.
Yeah, they've got a few younger ones that they bring in for it, but for the most part, you know, everybody in the old
core people are over 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like by the time they're doing this one, they'll do the whole thing. And like it'll be the end. Everybody else is laughing. And these guys who used to like laugh along with it will be like, oh man, that was crazy. Look so angry. Like I am too old for this shit.
Time to pass the torch. We need to produce this shit and get the money from other people doing this craziness.
Yeah, right. They like how are they not breaking hips out there, getting thrown around like that? So funny. Love it. If any of the Jackass guys are watching this, just big fan right here.
Yeah. If one of our 2 viewers that isn't Jerrod is a Jackass guy, reach out.
Right.
Oh, we just lost one.
I don't think my mom's a big Jackass viewer.
I'm not. This is where we differ. I can't say, I hate to say things that aren't up my alley with never really watching it, but I don't think you need to watch it to understand what it is. Like it's there. There's no surprises, from the preview.
It's kind of like what is the show where they got Sal, Impractical Jokers.
Impractical Jokers.
Hilarious. I think
I just met him this week.
Oh, you what?
I just met Sal this week.
Oh yeah, that's right. Didn't you?
Yeah.
You had the picture with him?
I didn't get a picture with him because I don't know him, but I have a picture of him with all my students that put on the show. Yeah.
So Impractical, I think I think a lot of people are kind of over the show now because it was just.
I mean, it's the same premise. How many times can you do it, right? Yeah.
But for a time, I thought it was the funniest thing going.
Yeah.
And it was, and the way that I compare it to Jackass, in that they were both very, very funny without it having to be like super like smart comedy.
Yeah.
But I still thought they were really funny, and they don't like both of them. Neither of them they punch down. They punch at themselves.
Yeah.
I can also enjoy.
I appreciate that. I will say I appreciate. Everybody that gets whatever in Jackass know. Oh, something's gonna happen. They may not know what's gonna happen to them, but something bad's gonna happen to them. And the same with Impractical Jokers. They try not to make it about the people that are involved unknowingly. It's about the person with the earbud in. Yeah.
Right. No. Which I think is the right way for both of them to do it.
Me too.
I like maybe I'll save it for later, but Eric Andre had a show on Netflix that was
he was in the newest Jackass, right?
Yeah, he was also in. Yep.
Yeah.
He was also in the new Jackass.
Is that where he got to start? No.
No, I think.
Okay, I thought he was a comedian. Yeah.
So the next movie, then, because I could go. I love Jackass, but it's better to watch than talk about. The next one. Did you see Death on the Nile?
We were just talking about that.
Oh, we were?
Yeah, that's the sequel to Myrtle on the Orient Express. Yeah. No, I'm watching it. I'm halfway through it right now.
Okay, I won't talk about it. We'll talk about it at a later time.
Okay.
The one thing I will say, and
I want that mustache. That I will say.
That is rad. I don't like to like badmouth any artist of any kind.
Yeah.
I don't see how Gal Gadot keeps getting all these roles.
I'm with you. It isn't. She's not bad. She's just not. She's as plain as can be. Like, yeah.
There's so many better actresses in Hollywood that they could put in that position. And I don't know what else there is. Like, people say she's pretty. It's like, it's tough to find a pretty good actress in Hollywood. No.
There's plenty. Well,
what is the name of she's British. She played the maid in the movie, the red hair.
Oh, Rose Leslie.
Rose Leslie, yes. I was so excited to see her because
me too.
Ever since she died in Game of Thrones, like that broke my heart when she died in Game of Thrones. And you know nothing, Jon Snow.
When
I found out that her and Kit Harington got married in real life, I was so ecstatic.
Now, Jerrod, did you ever watch? Speaking of Rose Leslie, did you watch The Good I forget the name of it. It's the Good Wife spinoff on Paramount Plus. The Good Place,
Oh,
or the Good something.
not the Good Place, was it? No, it wouldn't be the Good Place.
No. It's the Good Fight. That's what it's called. The
I
Good
haven't.
Fight.
You know what? I meant to get rid of Paramount Plus like right after I.
Before you do, go back and watch it. You don't need to have watched The Good Wife. It's a different. They have a couple characters that came over from that show, but Rose Leslie, the first season focuses on her. It's a huge part for her.
Yeah.
It'll make you appreciate her even more, and it's just well written. It's really good. I think you'd really like it. And again, because it's a Paramount Plus show, it's like 13 episodes. It's not a deep dive, you know.
You know, she is somebody I want to root for.
Yeah,
you know, that vibe.
She left the show after I think the second or third season, but the first season it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
All right, so we'll talk Death on the Nile.
Yeah.
Later, I'm gonna talk. You know, I'm gonna go a little. Yeah, I'm gonna do this as the last. No.
Okay.
We've got two movies actually. I'm gonna bring this one up because we talked about it a little before the show, and I'm still in the middle of it. But I'm watching the 2006 version of Superman. Superman Returns, 2006, and it's got Brandon Roth. Is it Brandon Roth? Is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know. Roth. I don't know.
Yeah.
Routh. Whatever you think.
Who I am not in love with is the guy playing the Superman character, because I cannot get past. If you, to anybody watching this, if you play any superhero in Legends of Tomorrow, I can't watch you in anything else.
Well, and it's funny. It's funny because I actually watched it. I was excited for that movie as a comic book nerd. And remember, in 2006, Marvel hadn't really started. They had a couple, but the Iron Man hadn't hit. So to get a new Superman movie, and one of the first movies I remember going in the theater in 1978, I believe, was the original Superman. And the old black and white during the 70s, there were reruns all the time. Yeah. As a little kid, I wanted to be Superman for Halloween. I pretended. I would call my mom Lois Lane. I would fly in, all that stuff. So to see a full color version on the big screen, for me, it was formidable. Yeah. So to have a movie in 2006 continue, because it's the same continuity after Superman 2. I don't think it really took into account 3 or 4, but Superman 2. And I thought he did a fine job. I didn't think he was great, but I was like, all right, he's got the look.
I'm still towards the beginning of the movie. It's
okay, but he channels Christopher Reeve. That's all I was looking for, is I wanted someone to continue, and channel Christopher Reeve. And I thought he did an okay job of that. Yeah. And I thought Kevin Spacey did an okay job of channeling why can't I remember his name? We just talked about Gene Hackman. That like it was fine.
We were talking, I think Kevin Spacey, I think we could all agree, is a despicable human being.
Yeah, it's a problem. He's a problem. It's too bad. He's a great actor, but he's a horrible
He's a great actor, and he plays a great bad guy. Yep. And as soon as I saw him starting to Lex Luthor, I was like, that is the right guy to be.
Yeah, and Parker Posey, even though she's not named it, takes on a great. She replaces Miss Tessbacher, who was great in the original movies. Like she played that foil to Lex Luthor. Like you had Ned Beatty as the bumbling guy, and you had and they had that slapstick thing going on, and then you had Miss Tessbacher who kind of was right in the middle.
Yeah. So you might not remember, but holding a smaller role in that movie, Kal Penn.
Yeah. And I believe that was, he went on to do House, and then he became Obama's health czar.
Well, also he did Harold and Kumar.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
His big role. Yeah. Then of course worked in the White House.
Who played Jimmy Olsen? Anybody famous?
In what?
In Superman Returns, in the one you're watching.
Which character is the
Jimmy Olsen, the photographer, Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen.
Oh, it's some kid. I have to look.
It's okay. I didn't know if it was someone famous. It probably isn't if I can't remember.
No. It's like
well, and that the fun with that, the original Lois Lane from the TV show, and Jimmy Olsen from Christopher Reeve movies do cameos in that.
Oh, no
movies.
kidding.
So keep a lookout. If you're at the beginning, they're more towards the middle and the end.
I will give it a chance. I will give it a chance.
Yeah, it's the plot's there. You're just, but Brandon Ruth has been ruined for you. And as me, I think if I went back and watched it, I have no urge to watch it.
I almost feel like I want to watch him in other things, just maybe to help his reputation. Because to me, I don't know if it's charisma or what, but like the only character I think he's made to play is an airline pilot. I don't know why. I don't know how to qualify that. But
so he needs to join the cast of the flight attendant. Is what you're saying?
As a character who's an airline pilot.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
That's funny. He was in a sitcom. He played like the gay best friend of the main character, and I didn't hate him, but
I think that's more of his role. I can't, when he takes himself too seriously. Well, that's not his thing. And with the superhero stuff, you kind of have to.
And he made his debut in Arrow. Like that's where they brought him in, right? And
I remember.
And
I watched all of Arrow because we're gonna dive into one of my Arrow themes.
All right,
first,
keep going.
We're gonna talk about a movie I just saw this weekend, The Batman. Did not see in the theater. Have you seen it?
Saw it in the theater.
I felt meh.
Yeah.
You know what?
Go ahead.
Rob Pattinson, I don't dislike him. I've seen some things that I like. He's a good guy to have playing it and add the different spin. But I think I'm just not interested in Batman as a character anymore.
Yeah.
I think we've just seen too many iterations of Batman. I consider like the modern era of the Batman movies that was started in '89 with Michael Keaton. Mm-hmm. And there's been 6, 7 different actors who have played Batman.
Yeah, and it's all been tainted through the whole, what's his name? The director that's done all the ones recently. I forget his name. Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
He took the DC characters and made them so. The only one that should be grim is Batman. The only one. Everybody else should be fun and a positive. And Batman's always been the weird, dour. He's the goth kid of the Justice League. And
you even look at like Twitter. There's people like Batman's the character people take shots at now.
Yeah.
And I remember when Batman was like really cool. And I think there's a few reasons. First, one of them that I said, he's been done too many times.
Yeah.
But I think another thing is starting in about 2000, 2001, with the Spider-Man, with the X-Men, they started being able to make superhero movies where they finally could do the special effects, where they could show off like actual real good superpowers and make it still look good.
Yeah.
Even the Superman one in the 80s, you watch it, even at the time, it's like, okay, I'm watching a movie about
right. Yeah, I remember in the Michael Keaton Batman at the last scene when the Joker, spoiler alert, everybody, the Joker falls off the building and Batman and Vicky Vale are hanging from a rope and they do a wide shot. It even looked like two action figures on the rope swinging back and forth. It didn't look like real people.
Yeah.
Like they didn't move at all. It was just swinging back and forth. And I, even in the theater, I'm like, didn't nail that one.
And Batman he doesn't have real superpowers. So
no, and I think that's why DC gravitates towards Batman. He's every other superhero in DC. Well, I can't say every, but most superheroes in DC, they have godlike powers. They have one thing. Every one of them. It's kind of a joke. Superman has kryptonite. Green Lantern has anything yellow. Flash has electricity.
Yeah, exactly. So they all have but they all have incredible superpowers that for the longest
that are
time,
godlike, and nobody can touch them unless they use that one thing against them, So, but Batman, that wasn't true because he's human, right? So anything could hurt Batman. His ingenuity gets him out of it. So I think it was an easier character to relate to, and they decided to go down that road. I will say the one thing I think this new movie got right and was really intriguing to me was his detective ability, because Batman, when he started in 1927 in Detective Comics, he was the world's greatest detective. He was a dude that dressed up like a bat, but was investigating crime. And he was like Sherlock Holmes level of deduction
Absolutely.
and yeah.
Absolutely. But one thing I saw in this movie that it was as bad as I've seen it, and it's just been getting worse. In the early ones, when Batman showed up to the scene, it's like, man, he looks cool. He looks badass. He's Batman. But now, when he's walking through with all the cops in
Everybody
his
hates.
Batman costume, he looks ridiculous. It just looks ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like what is the like how would you really react if someone showed up to your workplace
exactly,
dressed like this? Yeah,
exactly. And
yeah.
I think
Which see, and
DC,
he shouldn't show up to those places.
no,
The
he
way
shouldn't.
Batman's taken seriously is he comes out at night and you never really see him. Like the bad guys get beat up, but they don't really even see him because he's so quick, and so it's more believable. But as soon as and it's okay to meet with Commissioner Gordon on the top of the building because it's just him and Commissioner Gordon. But as soon as you're interacting with other people, it's bizarre. Like Superman can get away with it because he's so out
Right.
there, and but with Batman, it's just like you're just a weirdo in a costume that
I think
works out a lot.
DC's been doing just a bad job with the movies.
Wonder Woman was the only movie that I thought was really good, and I loved. And that's the other thing with Batman. I agree with you with all this stuff, but also Christopher Nolan. That was it. That was the trilogy. That was to me was the definitive. Okay, here's your story arc. Now Batman should go into the background. If they want to put him in Justice League, great. But let's give him 20 years, and then maybe you can revisit it again, just like we did with Nolan. I mean, but the Ben Affleck, the only thing that Ben Affleck got was the best costume. Like, not that it looked great, but it was finally one that Batman could move in. You could believe he could do the martial arts in. His head could, it wasn't a hindrance. That was the only thing that Ben Affleck's Batman had. Everything else was nothing new, and it was just Ben Affleck. And Ben Affleck's too big of a character not to be able to not see Ben Affleck. Like I was like, I'm watching Ben Affleck, and even behind the mask,
Yeah, like Justice League, great idea.
Yeah,
and it could have. They dropped it too early, I think.
Yeah, they needed to do what Marvel did and take 23 movies before you unleash it, right? I mean,
right. Or take it as a springboard to now you can, start. It's kind of starting with the group scene by having everybody there. Although they had, a couple Superman, a couple Batman movies to get you there. Yeah. Now you've got some more, and it's like they could introduce Aquaman ahead of time.
But I mean, they took these great characters from comic books and just made them so dour. Like nobody likes you. Yeah. I don't think Jason Momoa was the right. I have nothing against Jason Momoa, but he wasn't Aquaman. Aquaman, like he was an ostracized underneath the sea because he looked like, he was blonde haired and good looking. Like I don't get it. Everything had to be dark, and that's what I loved about Wonder Woman because it wasn't. I mean, there was some themes that were dark, but. And God, seeing Themyscira, the island, that was all and then it was a love story,
I enjoyed the DC movies. I didn't love them, but I didn't hate them, where they didn't try to be so dark. Like Shazam.
Right.
Shazam was an enjoyable watch.
Yeah.
It wasn't trying to be dark.
I still put it all on the shoulders of Zack Snyder and his fans. Like, he wanted to make this really, really dark. He took Superman, this iconic character that I loved from my childhood, and made him into a dark piece of crap that murdered somebody. And I know there's people that defend that decision to die, but Superman does not kill. He will figure out a way to save the people, so it's that to me, and that was the, Man of Steel was the first of the Snyder movies, I believe, so that really, and then I was like, oh, I get it. Now, every time I go see one of these movies that Snyder directs, it's just going to be this dark, there's no hope. There's no, superheroes right now are the modern day fables. They are this generation's cowboy movies where you have people coming in and representing folks that are powerless and serving them and making their lives better in a sacrifice. Like, all the great Westerns were always that, lone gunman coming in and taking on a town full of baddies and then giving the town back to the people and then off into the sunset. That's exactly what superheroes are today. So when you got Zack Snyder, let's just make them really weird and self-serving and and really upset that they have to do what they have to do. I just bleh.
One thing about Man of Steel, if you haven't watched it, watch for this. If you have watched it, watch it again. Because for as much of a budget as that movie must have had to have, there was one scene where Henry Cavill? I think Henry Cavill. I don't want to mispronounce his name because he could kick my ass. He's making eggs in a frying pan, and it is the worst looking fake eggs you've ever seen. It is like right out of Play School. The white with the two perfectly circular yellow things. The pan, you can tell it's not on. There's like no butter or anything in it. It just so like he hits it a little bit with the spatula, and it's because it's like one big fake plastic egg. The whole thing is shaking around. I couldn't unsee it once I saw that. So
wow, I don't remember seeing that. I will have to go back.
Keep an eye out. So going from the Batman, I'm going to go into a streaming show that I have now watched all of. Black Lightning.
Okay.
Black Lightning. It's on Netflix. It's
it's part of the Berlanti Arrowverse.
Yep. Part Arrowverse. I hadn't watched Black Lightning. It was 4 seasons, and it was. I thought it was better than the Flash.
Okay.
Not quite
now, was it as good as the first 2 seasons of Flash? Because Flash, there's a definite. I really think it just should have been a show that had a definite endpoint, and they just kept pumping out seasons.
Yeah, and season after season of him, the big nemesis being another Flash,
and he should be the theatrical Flash, especially now that Ezra Miller is having all the issues he's having with.
Yeah.
I
would say it's about as good as the first 2 seasons of the Flash.
Okay.
Pretty decent. Had its ups and downs. I've said before, it's kind of the same thing with Luke Cage. The acting is great. It's better than the other like DC movies that are in there. Just like I thought the acting in Luke Cage was better than in the other Netflix Marvel shows. And I have my own theory that because Hollywood and really a lot of TV does not give black actors a fair shake, you end up with shows that are not quite as big, getting these incredible actors.
On
the show. So
I think you're absolutely right, and I think you can make a really good case with the data that's out there, and that's the shows that are there in the viewership.
Yeah. And it wasn't bad. The show itself. I think I said it in the last episode. It felt to me at times like it was a show with black characters written by white writers. And sometimes that seemed very obvious, and I didn't enjoy that part of it. And the other thing, when you're watching a lot of these, when you're binging shows that have multiple seasons that were TV, on network TV somewhere, is it's so much quicker to see the same tropes over and over.
True story.
People who were angry that they didn't know your superhero identity. The bad guy, where the main superhero said, no, we can't all do it. I know it would be better if all of these other superpower people went with me, but no, I've got to go do this one. It's no, you don't. Why do you? And that was all of them. That Green Lantern did it. Flash did it. Black Lightning did it. It was just all, come on
now.
But in general, I thought it was not bad. It was a pretty good one.
It only made it to 4 seasons. There's not going to be a 5th.
Which maybe there'll be a 5th. I don't know, like what.
No, I think I think these things need to have. That's the one thing about what I appreciate about Netflix and non-network. They can stop it whenever. Like they can say, "I'm coming in and I'm doing 3 seasons." And obviously they have to get the viewership to make it to the 3 seasons, but they can say 3 seasons and out. I've already storyboarded the first 3 seasons. The character's going to have an arc, and after that, the story's told. And I appreciate that. That's British TV has always done that. British TV, they make a decision. Are we going to continue every year? And it has nothing to do with ratings. Is there more story to be told? Probably simplifying that a lot, but that's definitely been more of a British thing than an American thing.
I think they should have done the Marvel Netflix did it, where they did one series of about 4 or 6 episodes where they took Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and they had a series that was all of them.
Yeah, the
afterwards.
Defenders.
Yeah, Marvel's Defenders right there, and the DC ones, those shows, they did some of the crossover episodes, and those were really interesting.
They were interesting, and the only thing that's rough though is when you're not watching them in order.
Yeah.
Like say you're watching The Flash and you're not watching the other ones.
Exactly.
You're lost for those crossovers because, well, kind of lost. You're not appreciating it at the way you should, because if I were watching them when they were all airing at the same time, then I'd watch them in order and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and now like binging them, it's like, oh, now Green Lantern or Black Lightning, I see what the crossover that one, and I wish they would just kind of do those. I kind of get why Marvel's Defenders already had a streaming service, so easier to do. The other ones and everything, blah blah blah. I just think it would be a smart move for them.
I agree. I totally agree.
Very good.
I mean, you got to think network TV is on its way out or about to. It has to reinvent itself because out of everything we've talked about here, other than the Arrowverse, we haven't talked about network TV. I mean, there's so few broadcast things that are on my list now. Yeah. It's all streaming.
Yeah, there's been so few over the last few years. I kind of like to watch Abbott Elementary School.
Me too.
That's supposed to be good. There's one I saw a few episodes of when I had Hulu Live, or it's like a Ford or a car.
Oh yeah, American Auto. I really want to see that with Anna Gasteyer, right? Was it? She's the lead.
Yeah. I saw about 4 episodes of it. That was good. Was it Good Place from? That wasn't that long ago. I watched that was excellent, and of course, so.
Oh, look who's out of class.
That's right.
Amy, I watched the first episode and didn't like it and never went back to it. And then I realized, but this always happens to me. I didn't like The Office at first. I didn't like Parks and Rec at first.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised. So I know Abbott Elementary, I think it just wrapped up its season or it's on hiatus. I have to go back now that there's a significant amount of episodes.
So my next one. Now, if there's one thing I have just fallen in love with, it's the MCU. That has just been fantastic. I'm such a fan of it. And I had like no comic book loyalty as a kid. Whatever. But man, when those movies came out, I just love them. I think that such a great job with them. I am such a fan of them. The movie that I could not wait to see more than any other movie in my life, Avengers Endgame. So great. So I say all that to say, there you go. I say all that to say, I've been watching Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Not loving it.
Well, here, I agree. I love the idea of Moon Knight as a character.
Yeah.
I just think it's a slow burn. I haven't watched today's episode. I haven't watched last week's episode or today's episode. And trying not to get it spoiled, I did see a headline saying that everything's been boiling for the last episode. So I'm hoping it comes together.
I hope so too, because I like Pedro Pascal. Ethan Hawke's always cool. I mean, there's a lot that I should like, but when
Ethan Hawke just put the shoes on with the glass in it, I was like, I'm all in for this character. What the hell is going on here? And
to have it be so meh.
Yeah.
Although when I look at like the shows, did I mix up Pedro Pascal and Oscar Isaac? I did.
I didn't hear one way or the other.
I did. It's funny because I'm watching Game of Thrones again recently. It's like, oh yeah, Pedro Pascal was in that. I am.
Dang in my trunk.
Well, I also love Oscar Isaac. I love the two of them. I love their bromance.
Yeah.
We're so great together. It's like I want to be their third wheel because they are just such a fun. But I like him, and he was getting crap for his British accent he did in that, and I think that's crap. I thought he did a very good British accent.
Well. And considering, right, he's an American that has a British personality, so maybe you would do it crap. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like
maybe. I didn't think it was bad, and I thought it was a very specific one to that character. The kind of hello, very, very shy. I thought he did it. I thought
I really like. I think it's going to be a slow burn. If it disappoints, it'll be the first of the MCU shows that disappoint. I wasn't as enamored with Loki as everybody else was, but I still appreciated it. That to me is the weakest. And I was a little sad that it's of all these shows we've been talking about, it's the only one that's gotten a season 2. They're bringing, so they haven't said what's going to happen with Moon Knight. They haven't said what's going to happen with Hawkeye. I loved Hawkeye. Hawkeye took a mediocre character and brought in Kate Bishop, and I ate it all up. And then it was a Christmas story too. It just to me,
Yeah.
it hit all of that.
Yeah,
I thought Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna say Winter Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
That was, I really enjoyed that. It felt very Marvel movie.
They handled race issues, Black Lives Matter. Yeah. They did race in America in a genuine way, and it was heavy, but it didn't make the whole show heavy. Yeah. It was still entertaining, and it moved, and again, they do a great job of taking characters that I never really cared about before and making them people I really care about. I was kind of Winter Soldier. I was kind of like, but by the end of that, I was like, I really like this dude, and I don't care about him as a superhero. I like him as a character, right?
Yeah.
So
Moon Knight not doing it for me.
Well, we'll see. I'm holding it to jury out. I like the fact that I'm 2 weeks behind. I've also been falling asleep during my favorite shows. So all the Star Trek.
Old man comment.
I don't know. It's bad. I did it last night. I sat down to watch catch up on Star Trek Picard, and I love that show. And out after 20 minutes, and then I have to keep starting it again, and then I fall asleep again, and then I give up.
So moving to I think we talked a little about it last episode.
Okay.
Superhero show I really enjoyed, and one of the best things DC has done, Peacemaker. That I thought was excellent. John Cena was so good in that. Getting James Gunn to do it. I love his style of directing movies. It's very pop, I really enjoyed it.
The last Suicide Squad was in the same vein. I didn't like the first one as much, but this one, and James Gunn did it, and it set up Peacemaker perfectly. Yeah,
exactly. I really enjoyed it. The whole 80s hair metal stuff going on, which is a genre of music I love. It was, I really thought they did a really good job with that movie. We did talk about it a little last week.
Yeah. We talked about the opening dance and the theme song and Eagly. I was shocked that it was CGI. I really thought that was a real eagle until it hugged everybody.
Yeah, it was good. It was
I agree.
In the episode, you cared about the characters, you cared about what was going on, but it was also funny and enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
Good job of that.
And I know your favorite, and I realized I haven't watched the latest season, Doom Patrol.
I love Doom Patrol.
And they introduced a Neil Gaiman, the Dead Boy Detectives.
I don't want to give away anything.
I know, don't give it away, but I just read an article that they're in it, and I'm like, oh God, now I really want to watch it. So it's moved to the top of my list.
The season 3 is the artsiest of the 3 seasons,
which is saying something because it's an artsy ass show.
It is, and it really works for that show and what they're trying to do.
I can't wait to see it.
I'm so impressed by that.
And New Titans is about to drop as well.
I will be watching. There's a lot coming out in May, so we're got more coming up. Because I also want to bring up Minx. I think I talked a little bit about it last week.
Yes,
streamed on HBO.
Very good couple episodes I've seen.
Ended up being a really good show. Not for kids.
Nope. Well, it's about porn, right? It's kind of hard to be.
Kind of. Yeah. It's about a woman who's she's been wanting the opportunity to make a magazine for women by women with more of a feminist appeal, but the only way she was able to get that, the only publisher would give her any time, was a guy who did adult magazines. All takes place in the 70s. So
and Jake Johansson is just fantastic.
Yeah,
I like him a lot. Yeah, did you see that?
Perfect for that role.
He's so good. Did you see he had a network show the last couple of years? I think COVID kind of put the nail on it. It was on the cusp, and then I think COVID killed it. But Stumptown with Colby Smulders, and she was a detective, like a private eye, and she hooks up with him, but they don't hit it off romantically and become best friends. He owns a bar. It's based on a comic book. It was so good, and their chemistry was so good, and it didn't make it. But I just really like that guy, and I like Colby Smulders a lot too.
Yeah, he's very good in that. He's and like when you talk about like the chemistry he had with Colby Smulders. I think that, like, think about him as an actor. That is probably his greatest skill. Is he does have a way of having great chemistry with the other characters.
I'm going to say this. This is a bold statement, and I may upset some of our 2 listeners, because one of them's you.
Yes.
I would say that Jake Johansson is TV's version of Ryan Reynolds.
Ooh.
He's like the poor man Ryan Reynolds.
I didn't think you were going to go Ryan Reynolds with it.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go. I'm
taking a stand, right or wrong. It's a stand.
So I was thinking top character actor on television.
Oh, okay.
And why can I not remember the name? He's like one of the greatest character actors ever. Boogie Nights. What did I just watch him in? He was in one of the Mission Impossible movies.
Are you talking about Riley?
John Riley? No. John T. Riley? No.
Okay.
No. Why can I not remember him? Somebody that has to know what I'm talking about.
Hold on. What character did he play in Mission Impossible? What was he in?
I think he was the bad guy, like the villain in the crappiest one, the second one.
You're not talking about the British guy, are you?
No. Blonde hair.
Mark
Wahlberg.
Justin, it took everything in me not to say Mark Wahlberg because that's all I thought. Tom Cruise, yeah,
no,
is it Tom Cruise?
Hold on.
Best character actors around, Mark Wahlberg and Tom Cruise.
Actor, oh, great! Oh, come on, is it going to be in there? Oh,
this episode is brought to you by IMDb. Thank you, IMDb. The Internet Movie Database.
Character actors that show movie characters, like no. No. Yeah, I should do IMDb.
Oh, you weren't? I just assumed you were. Just look up
Boogie Nights.
Mm-hmm. Who the hell was in Boogie? Mark Wahlberg and John C. Reilly, and
he had a smaller role, but he's more. I mean, he's a character actor. He's Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh my God, he's legend.
I said that one of the greatest character actors ever. But
you're right.
That's who he reminds me of. But like the
Jake Johansson reminds you of him?
The television version.
Oh, Jake Johnson. Yes, thanks, Amy. Yeah, if I'm gonna get a name wrong, I'll do it. Jake Johansson is Hot. What's the singer that did Hot? That was
Buster Poindexter.
But yeah, Buster Poindexter. That's Jake Johansson as Buster Poindexter.
But
yes,
Minx is a terrific. A lot of dog.
Gotcha. I'm gonna watch it. I'm definitely gonna watch it. Going back to a natural ending to shows, you know what show really needed an end date, and they didn't know they had a hit until the first season, and then they dragged it on in the middle, got all bulky, and then they announced that it was going to end, and it got good again. Lost.
I never watched Lost.
Lost had such a great 2 seasons, and then ABC was like, okay, we can never end this show. And then you had just this horrible middle section. And then finally, J.J. Abrams was like, you know what? We got 7 seasons in this. Give us 2 more and we're going to wrap it up. And as soon as they said that, they got back on path with the lore and they started resolving things. Because what happens, especially in a show like Lost or X-Files or that sort of thing, you have all these mysteries and you can't solve them or else you run out of story to tell. So you get these 8 seasons or 7 seasons of just crap. But that made me think of why Netflix is doing better with that type of stuff. Like, imagine if Stranger Things, if they said you got to do 23 episodes every season, it would have never made it past season 2.
Yeah.
And
it already lost me, by the way. Stranger Things, the first season I watched, like, I guess I can see why people are into it. Then I started the second season. It's like, I don't know. I was watching it and just because I'd already watched up to that point.
Yeah.
Wasn't really enjoying it anymore.
No. So what else is on your list? What else?
So a couple that I've watched just 1 or 2 episodes of. First one, Our Flag Means Death.
Yes, I've watched a few episodes of that.
A pirate comedy. I'm very on the edge. It's got a very Space Force feel to it, to me. And I did enjoy Space Force, but barely.
And I'm going to say this. I love the actor that plays the pirate, the main pirate.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I like him enough to build the whole show on him. I think I would like him more if he was one of the wacky side characters that make the show. I mean, that's what you're watching it for at this point, is his wacky crew and their reaction to his nuttiness.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm into his nuttiness that much,
It's the thing. I'm like teetering on the edge of, am I going to keep watching it or not? Because it was okay. It felt like it was like trying hard, and when I can feel that, it's hard for me to feel anything else.
Yeah. But I do feel like shows like this, if they make it to a second season, that's where they find their footing. I think they decide. I feel like a lot of these farce comedies, they throw a lot at the wall to see what sticks, and they need the audience reaction to hone in on what they're going to do. And I do feel if this makes it to a second season, it may play to its strengths a little bit more.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's all over the place. Like there's a couple of lines that make me laugh, but all together it's like few and far between, like the thing I think is funniest is that it's based on a real person. I think that's hilarious that there was somebody like this, but
I just don't care about any of the characters yet.
No.
And I think that's part of what is pulling it from me. So another one I've watched, just 1 or 2 episodes of, is Righteous Gemstones on HBO.
I'm going to say something that's controversial. I don't like the main dude.
John Goodman?
Nope. The son. Eastbound and Down. I can never remember his name.
I can't remember his name. Nope. I can see.
Yeah. I don't like him, and the property's already tainted. And it's funny because a lot of people that I do enjoy love him, say he's one of the best. And I just have never connected to any of his characters.
Yeah, he's another one where it feels like he's trying so hard. And the whole show kind of has that feeling. They've got John Goodman. You've got to love John Goodman. I can't remember his name, but he was, I think, he was on Workaholics, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I love that show, actually. At least the first couple season or two of it. I don't know how long it went on. Loved it. They gave me the expression walking, talking, diarrhea people. I watch it and I wanted to like it.
Yeah.
But it's another one where it's like, there's some shows, and it's like, I put under the umbrella of Mars Attacks, where and I kind of think Murder on the Nile, is that the one that's like that? I can't give the other one. It's like this. But shows that Hollywood puts out, movies, TV shows that Hollywood puts out, that it's almost like Hollywood saying, look how funny we can be. And they'll put big stars in it. And it's all kind of inside jokes that you're in on with these celebrities.
Like, can you give me an example? I'm having a hard time following.
Golly. Mars Attacks the one I go for. And I know that's controversial.
Amy said, don't you bring Mars Attacks into this?
We've had the conversation.
I see what you're saying. So yeah, it's a stupid premise, and it's built up by a lot of stars being in it.
What was the one on Netflix that Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence?
Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up.
I did not like that movie at all.
And I think they're all like
Movie 43. That's a good one.
Funny, kind of I would say Justin mentioned Movie 43. That is a great movie.
Never saw it.
Oh my God, Ian! It is so.
All right.
HBO, you're gonna have to search for it.
I'll search for it.
Don't Google it, because there's one character in particular.
Okay, I'll watch it. You got to talk to me about it 3 times before I'll definitely watch it. That's my rule. No, I'll go and watch it.
Who was the guy who played Wolverine? Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
If you Google it, you'll see Hugh Jackman's character, and it gives away a lot of it. And when I'd see like writing about it, I would be like, okay, that looks dumb. And then I watched it in action with him doing it, and I loved it.
Justin says this is a hot take. Jay Bird saying this is a hot take.
It is a hot take because it is it's not smart comedy. It's dumb comedy. And it's kind of funny because it's like all of these big name actors and actresses are in it. Like the Hugh Jackman skit, it's got Cate Blanchett in it. And there's another one, it's Chris Pratt. I can't remember who he's married to. A lot of big name actors and actresses.
Anna Faris. He was married to Anna Faris at the time.
Oh, and Anna Faris, that's right. And there's the one that you see on HBO, it's like a very loose, dumb part tying together a bunch of skits.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll have to watch it. I'll have to watch it.
There's another version apparently is better. I thought that was an underappreciated. I'm a guy who thinks Jackass is really funny too.
No, I know. I mean, it's got a base. They made it for somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
I also think Dumb and Dumber as a comedy is brilliant.
Yeah.
People get past like all the dumb.
You either like you. There's no mid road with the Farrelly brothers. Like you either like them or you don't. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not. You know, it's funny because I think they actually have gotten lower brow as they go on. Like Raising Arizona was so low brow, it was highbrow. You know, like it, and then it just went. You know, and I like it. And then they tried doing the serious one with Outside Providence, even though it was funny, but they tried. I appreciate them.
Yeah, I could go pretty deep into Dumb, and we could do a whole episode of me just really digging deep into Dumb.
Well, if we want to do that, I gotta rewatch it because I haven't seen it since it first came out. Like I liked it a lot, but I haven't watched it.
It's smarter than people give it credit for.
Well, in freaking
brilliant ideas.
And freaking what's his name? The part Lloyd. Jeff Daniels.
Yeah.
I love it when you don't expect somebody that you kind of know is more of a serious actor has real comedic chops. That to me, there's nothing better than that.
Now, two terrible movies that we could definitely like do.
Are you gonna say two really high appreciated movies like Gone with the Wind and
Battleship, which I've probably talked about before.
Taylor Kitsch.
Very military. Yeah, it definitely had the Navy in it. It is so dumb. And I guess military guy like me, when I see movies in the military, I can't help but pick them apart. That was so over the top.
Well, dumb. Is it a military movie or is it a board game movie? You gotta ask yourself that.
And it kills me. It's like based on the board. There's no way. It's an alien it's no way like the board game.
All the movies should have been was like somebody a satellite with missiles on it was malfunctioning and just dropping them in the Atlantic Ocean.
Yes,
that's how you make that movie.
You might as well have like called it like Trivial Pursuit.
Yeah,
based on it was just nothing at all like the board game. Just come on.
I mean, and the best board game movie is absolutely Clue. It did not do well in the theaters. I saw it in theater. Now I'm really dating myself, but it is the best movie based on a board game.
And let's face it, board game's a tough thing to do a movie on.
Yeah.
Uno the movie is not going to be an enjoyable movie for anyone.
No, and nobody better argue Jumanji because that's a fake game. That's a fake board game.
So the other terrible
movie. Okay, Battleship is one.
Oh, it's the Matthew Broderick version of Godzilla. And I remember the previews for it. That was a movie I was really looking for. The previews made it look like it was going to be so good. That was the first Godzilla movie in forever. And I rewatched it recently, and it's so bad. And it's not just bad like you would think special effects or something bad. It's like the dialogue is so just terrible. Right. Yeah. There's times where I'm watching it, and I'm like, I feel bad for the actors in the movie. It's like, oh, you must have fought hard not to have to say that line because it's so bad.
Well, and nobody should be looking at Matthew Broderick and say, you know what, action star.
Yeah,
like there is nothing wrong with Matthew Broderick. He's a great actor. He's a great comedian. You know, he plays the straight man really well. He plays the just about arrogant like Ferris Bueller perfectly, right? He's really made it. Do not put him in an action movie as the leading character. I don't care if he's a scientist. I don't care. Just don't do it.
I'd love to blame him for it, but every bit of that movie is bad. Like the most believable character is Godzilla. There's one part where it's like New York City, and there's these two helicopters flying around with Godzilla chasing behind them. So they're flying around, and it's like these tight corners because it's in New York City, and Godzilla's chasing after them, and it's like, why don't you go up? You've got that whole direction up you can go, and they never do. They keep going straight forward and try to lose Godzilla that way.
That's the whole crux of Star Trek Wrath of Khan is that Khan couldn't think in 3 dimensions when flying the ship. So he kept coming at the Enterprise, in 2 dimensions, and the Enterprise just goes up and then falls back down behind them and gets them. And it's such a great, because I don't think anybody thinks about 3D, but in aeronautics, especially things that can hover, you can
Like
quickly go up and down. Yeah.
Known for going up.
Yeah.
Well known for that.
Well known.
I'm watching that and I'm just screaming at my TV, like, why are you not going? And they don't. And there's parts where they think they lose them and they're sneaking like side to side, like, oh, I hope he's gone. Why not go this way?
That's a good point, Justin. Doesn't Godzilla have laser breath? Could have shot up? That's true.
But there were other times where they're trying to turn around so they'd go towards him so they could like shoot at him. So it wasn't like
they didn't know about the Z axis. They only knew about the X and Y, not the Z.
Quit fucking making excuses for these dumbass helicopter pilots. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it.
Now, did you like the newer Godzilla movies?
Some of them I actually did. Yeah. I liked that they created that Titanverse. Like the individual King Kong movie I couldn't get through. And honestly, King Kong versus Godzilla was kind of dumb.
It was very dumb.
But they were. I liked the Godzilla piece of all of them.
I liked the first one.
Yeah.
Once they added Millie Bobby Brown,
that felt to me like, we're trying to get her more famous. We're trying to make.
Yeah, we need to young and like young people don't know about Godzilla. We got to get them into the movie theater to know.
So
about
that part was kind of meh.
Yeah.
I did like the newer Godzilla.
No, yeah, I watched them and enjoyed them. I'm not rushing out to see the new one, but when they hit HBO, I'm all over it.
That's how I do it. Yeah. But it's worth it to rewatch that old Godzilla because it's so bad.
That's Matthew Broderick.
So bad. I'll tell you the movie. I don't remember if we even talked about it last year because I got to it very late, and that's Succession. And I know we're way off the season, but that is so good.
It's so good.
So good. And it's like, it's funny without being like comedic.
It's very sad and funny.
Yeah, like there's no good guys.
Because if you start trying to relate to these characters, which you shouldn't do, I don't advise it. These are people that are not on our level. They work with a different role. But if you do try to empathize with them, it's just sad how much these children are manipulated by the situation they're in and their father. So if you start really breaking it down, it's. But if you don't do that and you just take it for what's happening plot wise, it's like eating popcorn. You just can't stop.
I think they do a masterful job at different times of making you like start to feel for our character, start to empathize with character, and then the character does something terrible, and you're like, "Oh, I feel so let down."
Yeah, and okay, you deserve it. I wasted my empathy on you. I'm going to stop. And then you do it all again with another character.
Yep, they're all bad guys, and the funny parts of it are so. Roy, is it Roy?
That's his last name.
That's right.
The head of the household?
No, the one Kieran Culkin played.
He plays Roman.
Roman, when he accidentally sends his dad a dick pic.
Oh God! And you knew it was going to happen. You saw. I don't know. Well, I did. I was like, oh shit.
But
shit.
I describe it, and if that was in a Will Ferrell movie, or like almost any other like comedic world, it would have been done for laughs.
No, it was done for cringe. It was absolutely done for cringe, and it was absolutely done to politicize. It was so good, and
keep it within some sort of. It almost still felt like it could be based in reality.
Yeah, Roman was about to win. And he self-sabotages. And it's like, well, here we go again.
And the guy who plays Tom, who was like very country boy, I did not realize until I saw him in some like talk shows. He's British.
Yeah.
So great acting with the accent. I never would have believed that. But the very early one where at the bachelor party, and he gets snowballed. He's like, and he's so naive that he tells the guys about it like it's some cool, crazy thing he did. And it's like,
Yeah, it's
it just I swallowed it. I stop and think about sometimes like this again, and like to describe it here, if it was done in any other comedic world, it
you'd
would
be
have
like,
been like gross out comedy,
yeah,
that kind of thing.
what is
But
this, a
that
Kevin
one,
Smith movie?
yeah, any
Yeah.
other way. But that one they did it where it was so
Well, it's
innocent.
cringy. It's
Yeah.
cringy. Everything is cringy. Everything is like, it's. They do an excellent job. I don't know of another show where I'm just constantly feeling bad and then cringing because the person you're feeling bad for either does something so terrible you can't empathize, or just gets their world rocked so bad
But
that
I will say that they do cringe right, and a
they
lot of
do.
times I think movies do cringe wrong.
Yeah.
And TV shows like The Office, great TV show, had a lot of really funny parts, but a lot of the comedy was cringe, and
Yeah.
especially when I rewatched it, it's like I'm just cringing. I'm not laughing. I'm just
Well,
cringing. I appreciate the cleverness of how he got where he did, but I'm just like, ugh. Another
Yeah.
movie like that, Step Brothers.
Yes.
I tend to like the Will Ferrell movies. I like
Yeah.
that kind of comedy, but that one in particular had a lot of parts that were just cringy.
Yeah.
Like when him and John C. Reilly were doing the business proposition to
Yeah.
the Adam Scott character,
Yeah.
or Adam Scott's character, and it was
Yeah.
like all of the comedy was based upon cringe, and it was too
well, and
cringe.
you nailed it at the beginning. You can't. The reason that Succession does cringe so well is they're not punching down with the cringe. All of these people are on the same level.
Yeah, you're right.
And their status, if you think of traditional status as wealth and power, they are above us. So no matter where they're punching, it's not going to feel like down to us. It's going to be like, look at these powerful people, and they do that with the Will Ferrell movies. The Adam Scotts of the world are punching down on these guys, and then they can't even get out of their own way. So we feel they're kind of surrogates for us, and that means the cringe doesn't feel great, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that was a lot. I need a nap now.
That's quite a bit right there. So
yeah.
I have not gotten Apple TV yet. There's a few things I want to watch on that.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of getting that subscription right now.
Do it. It's $4.99. It's the cheapest of all the
streaming
services.
Yeah. Once I saw I could get it on my Roku, it's like,
oh yeah. And it's a
well.
beautiful app on the Roku. I just really like the user interface on it. It's just really flashy and nice.
Okay.
It's nice.
Here.
Nice.
The $5 a month have me sold.
I'll upsell. I should work upselling. That should be my job. I can upsell anybody. Yeah, the user interface is just beautiful.
That Jerrod seems like a guy who likes a good Roku user interface.
Yeah, I'm getting 50 cents every month on your $4.99 from Apple.
There we go. Well, I think.
Did we cover everything?
Yeah.
Oh, I will say this. I am looking forward. Let's talk about. I don't know if you have any, but there's things that are coming out that you're looking forward to. The thing I'm looking forward to the most, and I get to see it on Monday for work, is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Have you seen this movie?
Is that the one with Nicolas Cage?
It is, and I don't like Nicolas Cage. I don't like him. Like I feel like it's very trendy not to like Nicolas Cage, but yeah. I'm not a big fan. And this looks funny, and it takes a shot at him, and he's in on the joke, and I think it looks fantastic.
So that could put Nicolas Cage on the Keanu Reeves arc right there.
It could be. I'm kind of rooting for him because I feel like he didn't earn all the animosity towards him. Like he just took every role imaginable for a time there, and he just didn't. There weren't a lot that hit, but there weren't a lot of really, really bad ones either. They just didn't hit, So
Face Off was bad.
Yeah, but was anybody expecting it to be good? I do think there's something about that, right?
That's true.
It's a John Woo movie.
I think bar, set it lower, and hurdle it.
Yeah, so I'm like, he actually did a really great job at a movie that nobody was supposed to like,
I still say it was National Treasure.
Yeah, I loved your take on that last time.
So bad. So bad. So dumb. Somebody's got to yell. Oh,
so Jerrod, on May 5th,
yeah,
I know you're not a big Star Trek person. They are doing, I'm going to murder the title, but it's World something. It is the original Christopher Pike, who was the captain of the Enterprise before Captain Kirk. So never really explored his world. He was a character in one of them. They're doing non story arc Star Trek. So each episode is kind of a standalone, like they used to do, like TV used to be. Yeah. It may be a great jumping off point. I do think it's worth visiting for you. You have a lot of the same sensibilities. This could be one that you may really like.
When I was a kid, the original when Star Trek: The Next Generation first came out, the first few seasons, I was really into that.
Yeah.
I tried the movies that came out in the 2000s. Some were better than others.
Yeah.
Chris Pine is not a bad actor. He's a good-looking guy. I don't care about him in any movies.
I don't care that those movies, when they stopped making them, I guess there may be one more. I didn't care about it. I thought J.J. Abrams, I like J.J. Abrams. I wish he would stop messing with already established properties. He does a good job bringing new stuff to the surface. Stop rewriting these classics like Star Wars and Star Trek. But this one, I can just say, the person, and I forget his name, the producer that has done all these Star Trek, this is the one that I think is going to be the most accessible for somebody that's not really kept up with the lore of Star Trek, and it may be a great jumping off point. Since you have Paramount Plus anyways, next Friday or whatever the 5th is, I'm telling you, next Thursday, give it a watch. You may like
it. Give it a whirl.
Yeah. So anyways, all right. What are our plugs? Let's get to plugs.
What do you got to plug? I'll let you go first. All
right. Let's see. I may or may not be performing with Netflix and Chill next week, my new house team. Unfortunately, I haven't practiced with them yet, but I did perform a montage when they needed me last week. We had a lot of absenteeism last week, so we just did a regular montage. I played with them, but we do the movie form, and although I've done movie form-esque, I haven't really rehearsed with them. So I'm hoping to next week is the last week. Next week's the next Thursday. I can't make the last Thursday. I can't make a rehearsal. After that, I should be able to make all the rehearsals, and we'll be jumping in with them regularly on every other Friday night. So I may or may not be in the show next Friday. However, I will be at the show. So either watch me or come sit next to me, because I will be there. So Friday, a week from this Friday, 7 p.m., Providence Improv Guild, 95 Empire. Come on up to the second floor and watch me or sit next to me, depending on where we fall with that.
That is the longest
plug
I've ever heard for a show that somebody might
be in. It's all I got. Man. It is crazy time at work. I just haven't been able to commit, but the craziness stops on May 7th is Johnson & Wales University's in-person graduation, and then my summer begins, and I can do improv all the time if I want to.
Nice.
Yeah. So what about you?
So I've got a few.
Oh, could you make it longer than mine?
I believe me, I can stretch them out too. Friday, I'm going to be performing at Bring Your Own Improv down at Warwick Center for the Arts.
Woo!
7 o'clock is the family-friendly show. 9 o'clock is the more adult show. I'll be the only guy on the team this week, which is cool. I love when there can be women-dominated improv. I've been able to improvise, and a lot of my early teachers were women, and I think women get the short stick in comedy a lot. So I kind of wish I wasn't.
Fuck you, Jerry Lewis.
Right.
Sorry. I hate Jerry Lewis. And when he said that about women comics, I
hope it comes up every few years too. And
I hate him.
Some unfunny mother. Well, I won't. I'm not going to.
I will. Jerry Lewis is like whatever, but he was overrated.
I just the people who say that women aren't funny are people who just never gone out.
They hate women. I'm going to say it. They hate women because yeah. Anyways.
I've been so influenced and been lucky enough to teach, be taught by, and perform with so many hilarious women since I've been doing it. So
yeah,
this Friday,
Providence has a great tradition with women performers. I mean, and it's great. Yeah.
So that Friday and 7 and 9. There's also for anybody who wants to perform with Bring Your Own Improv, 5 o'clock on Friday, they're doing open auditions.
Ooh.
And by open auditions, it means that you don't have to have gone through any curriculum there. I think if you've got some improv training and experience, it's a great place to go and
Get
audition.
some short form reps in.
All short form to it. I'm
Yeah.
a big fan of short form improv. That's how I started doing improv. I started doing improv with Comedy Sports, so I love me some short form. So yeah, come on out Friday at 5 audition. Stick around 7 and 9 and watch me perform. It's Masks and Backs there. And then Saturday at 7, my Dr. Nighttime crew going to be there at Providence Improv Guild, AS 220. We're going to be doing our Harold there. We added Chloe after we managed to keep our team and add Chloe Kelleher, who is hilarious and awesome. And we're all very happy to be able to add her to our team. It's kind of funny.
She was in the last show. She killed.
Yeah. So our team that we have right now, Dr. Nighttime, before the pandemic had started, we were Pegasus and we were doing the Harold. And then after we could start doing live shows again, we wanted to stay together. We were allowed to stay together with one addition of Mindy Deering, who is an excellent addition. And Mindy is just
so good.
She's so funny. She's so funny. Yeah. It's just when I'm in a scene with her, you can't do anything with her that she can't make into a really funny line. She's fantastic. And then adding Chloe to that same core this time around, just great additions.
No, you got yourself a great team.
Getting better and better. Yeah.
I really enjoyed. I saw you a couple weeks ago and enjoyed it.
I'm gonna throw I
was gonna do it too.
Amy's a loyal viewer of this. We'll throw her.
I don't know if she was plugging to our audience or just to us.
It's all right. You know what, Amy? We can double the number of people who are seeing it.
Yeah, if you sell out, we're the reason.
That's right. That's right. We demand some of the money.
Ahoy Hades and Kismet and Friends and a night out with Kismet sketch comedy. So talk about a little something different. Kismet's doing sketch comedy. So we talked a lot about improv, but if you want something a little different, there's your opportunity.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm fucking.
Yeah, put up the Justin one.
There we go. Yeah, I was clicking everywhere. And
you're an amateur. You need practice.
Powers very long. And it's true. That's true. Dr. Nighttime, especially since we've added Mindy and Chloe, very athletically inclined.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would not want to meet them on a rugby pitch. They would win. That's it.
Rugby is actually a specialty too. We are doctors of rugby.
Well, and I often hang out on rugby pitches, not playing, just hanging out. Put a seat, I bring a folding chair and I just sit there and read. And
it was the little inside joke for Dr. Nighttime. We don't tell everybody our full name. We're not ashamed of it. We just don't tell everybody, a lot of people, that our full name is actually Dr. Nighttime, and then parentheses DDS. We are actually doctors of dentistry, which are still real doctors.
Social work. Doctor of philosophy.
I'm gonna put this one up because we didn't have like a theater department in my high school. We were very small. So when I started doing sketch, I learned I am so bad at memorizing lines.
Well, it's a skill you got to practice.
It really is. And Chris Iannucci early on at the Pig Sketch was a huge part of it. Me and him, very good friends. I think the world of the guy. I think he's such a talented comedic mind. And when he would need anybody to do acting, I can't say no to Chris. He's one of the best people I know. He's one of my best friends. And he would write these really long things, and I always give
very verbose.
Chris, I can't memorize this at all. And he started writing, and I like to think it has helped improve his sketch writing, his comedy writing, by getting him to take out a lot of the verbosity, the loquaciousness of his writings.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I hadn't had to memorize lines. Actually, I did for a Bowler's Secret Project. I wanted to regurgitate some of the descriptions she had said, and there's this funny description. You all see it, I guess, soon. But we did Jerrod and I did a secret project.
I was thinking about that recently. I
think we still need to film one thing before it's ready.
If she was on tonight, I was gonna ask her.
Yeah.
I was texting her earlier today, and I meant to ask her then, and I didn't.
So I had to memorize a kind of a tongue twister of a line, and I was like, oh, I've lost my. I used to be able to do this no problem, just repeat, and it would stick. It was harder than I thought. It messed me up. I had to do a few takes to get it right.
I can't wait to see this because I really like the whole idea and premise of it.
I was really happy with everything. Like, we were in the same cluster, and I really liked what our cluster came up with. I thought it was strong, and so it'll be interesting to see what she chooses to put in it and that sort of thing.
Well, she did the fake documentary first. I can't remember if you were in it for Tom Epstein.
I was not. No, I saw it, but I didn't.
I learned a lot because I had a lot of very funny stuff cut out, understandably, because I was talking too long.
Right.
So good little lesson that I could learn there. But I mean, like Tina was in it, and Tina's just amazing.
Yeah, put her in a wig, and she can do any character.
So good. And she had some lines in it that were so like slick, funny. She had one about she was a costume designer. It was for Tom Epstein, so she like really faded superhero shirts, and it was like so perfect. I never would have thought of it. Like, what a funny, great description of the kind of shirts that Tom wears.
Tom wears, yeah.
And Jimmy Sorrell in it.
Oh my God, you couldn't tell it was Jimmy.
I couldn't tell it was Jimmy. At the end, when it in the credits, I'm like, yeah, Jimmy was it. Wait a minute, that wasn't Jimmy, was it?
And it really wasn't about. I mean, he did make himself to look different, but it was just his character choice. It was so unlike his real personality. You're like, I don't know who that is. Like, I don't know if I know that person.
So good in it. I just saw him for the first time at our last show because we were performing an Empire Reviewer show, performing that same night.
Oh yeah.
It was a few weeks ago. Yeah, I hadn't seen him in a while, so he still looks great. Annoyingly great.
He actually exercised during the pandemic. So
yes.
Screw that guy. Screw that guy. That's all I say.
Damn him.
Showing up the world like that.
Great body.
Damn him.
All right. I think
he's not going to be on our cruise. We cannot add him to our team.
No, we can't.
No. There's a bar. Speaking of Tom is making a return to sub on Interrobang on Friday, 7 p.m. at Pig.
There we go. Throwing plugs like crazy. I think with Pig, I think it's still you need to bring proof of vaccination. For us at Bring Your Own Improv, it's masked and bring your own and proof of vaccination. I believe Kismet is the same, that it's masked and proof of vaccination.
It is. I was just there a couple weeks ago. It's mask and proof of vaccination.
But people, the auditions, 5 p.m., Bring Your Own Improv at Warwick Center for the Arts.
Did you just bring the mic in for that?
I've got a mic, but I wanted to bring it in close, everybody.
Yeah, wow.
Hold on, I'm going to...
It's good to always do your tech stuff at the end of the show. Yeah.
Hold on, with the arm hanging out on the side.
Are you trying to get my aesthetic going on here?
But yes, please, it is a great opportunity if you want to get more reps, more stage time, and especially if you love doing short form. And I love doing short form, and I cannot get enough of it. Friday, Warwick Center for the Arts, 5 p.m.
Maybe you'll see me there, Jerrod. Are you going to be at the auditions?
I'm not at the beginning because I work.
Well, that's probably good. I like going in cold. I like not knowing many people.
I really didn't. I thought I knew people in the improv community when I auditioned there in this area, but when I went to it, I didn't really know anybody there. There's a few people who people I had taught at Pig who came on, like Brett actually made it then, and he did a great job with that, and it was great watching be able to grow in short form. I have a short form background, he didn't, so it was great watching him. But yeah, we definitely need some more performers there right now.
I went to the Kismet auditions and did not get placed, but boy, did they have a lot of people auditioning.
Really?
They had like 2 or 3 different time slots, and there were 20 in the one I went to. So I was like, oh, this is, and I've not, I don't know anybody over there except for former Pig people or current Pig people.
Right.
So it was like, no one knew who I was, or that sort of thing. So, but yeah, no, I've been thinking about doing something different. It's great to see you. Yeah, I saw Amy there. Amy auditioned with the group that I was in. I just really want a musical, and I bombed so hard the musical. Oh, I bombed so hard the musical. But it is what it is. We only got one shot. Musical, you got one scene. You either did it or you didn't. And there were some strong singers there. So
that's right. And Amy performs with me as well down at Bring Your Own Improv. So you get a chance to perform with her there. So I hope you do it.
That's my goal, is to perform with Amy. I thought I would do it at Kismet, but maybe I'll do it at
there you go. There you go. I will encourage you. I strongly encourage you to show up, and anybody else who wants to as well. Strongly encourage you. It'd be great to see some familiar faces out.
Yeah, and short form is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
All right.
Why are you humming? What did I do? Ahem.
I think that was more directed towards me talking about BYOI.
Okay.
Mentioning that Amy is there. Oh, you know what?
30 seconds later, we'll understand what this is.
Go ahead. Tell you what the ahem was for.
Yeah. Is that what it was for?
It was great seeing you too there, Amy.
Yeah, it was great. I said that. I said I saw Amy there. The ahem was when you said you didn't know anyone at Kismet. Oh.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Amy's very short. It's easy to
right over. I'm 6 foot.
I try not to make short jokes at Amy because everybody does and they're cheap, and it's super cheesy of me to do it.
Yeah, but she's so friggin' talented that that's what you got to go after her for.
Oh, she'll appreciate that. She'll appreciate that.
She is. She's amazing.
She falls for that kind of shit.
I know.
She'll fall for that shit.
I know. But that mind is so friggin' quick with the puns and the Jesus.
Annoying.
I'm 5 minutes later. I'm finally understanding what Amy said, and she's already made 4 other equally as funny jokes.
Well, if you join Bring Your Own Improv, you will get to start noticing she makes a certain face when she throws one of those, injects one of those into a conversation. Yeah, Amy, I recognize it, that you make that certain face every time you do it. And I won't make fun of it now because Ian's going to have to get on the team to be able to see it in person. Then we could all make fun of it. I think that should be the end of the show tonight.
All right. Then that's it. Folks, we'll be back in 2 weeks for our show about trends and trendiness. So, we're going to talk about certain trends and
a couple trendy guys right here.
2 trendy guys with beards.
All right.
Thanks for hanging out, Justin. You have this is the first time I've seen you for a long time on our feed. So thanks for joining in, Amy. Thanks for cutting class. Yeah. How dare you take a class during our showtime?
We're doing a bad job of leaving the show. We got to leave the show, though.
It's Ian won't shut up. All right.
Right.
Bye, everybody. Have a great 2 weeks. We'll see you when we see you.
Bye.